Ever pondered what links you to the vast cosmos? Or how understanding yourself can unravel the mysteries of the universe? There's a certain magnetism to these grand questions, isn't there? A pull that tugs at the core of our existence, sparking curiosity and wonder. We humans are, after all, beings of inquiry, forever seeking answers to the enigmatic riddles that surround us. But where do we begin? The universe, with its infinite expanse, can feel overwhelming and the journey to self-understanding equally daunting. Yet these two realms, the cosmos and the self, are intrinsically intertwined. To comprehend one is to illuminate the other. Enter the Kybalion. This age-old text brimming with wisdom serves as our guide to navigating these mysteries. It's not just a book, it's a compass, a map that charts the terrain of self and universe, pointing us towards profound truths that lie beneath the surface of our everyday existence. The Kybalion presents 7 principles, each one a beacon that shines light on a different aspect of reality. These principles aren't just philosophical musings, they're practical tools, designed to be wielded in our daily lives. They help us understand the universe's ebb and flow, the rhythm of life, and our place within this grand cosmic dance. And the beauty of it all? These principles are not reserved for the scholars or the mystics. They're accessible to everyone. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or a curious newcomer, the Kybalion offers insights that can deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. So, are you ready to embark on this journey of discovery? To explore the depths of your being and the vastness of the universe? To see the world not as it appears, but as it truly is? Dive with me into the 7 principles of the Kybalion and their practical applications in daily life. The first principle, the principle of mentalism, posits the all is mind, the universe is mental. This profound statement proposes that everything, the whole universe, is contained within the mind of the all, a concept referring to the ultimate, infinite, universal, divine consciousness. What does this mean? Simply put, the principle of mentalism suggests that everything we perceive in our reality first originates in the mind. It's a reflection of our thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and perceptions. Consider this. When you dream, the dream world exists within your mind, doesn't it? You create the environment, the characters, the story, all within your mind. The principle of mentalism suggests that our waking reality operates similarly. It is a construct of the mind, a projection of our consciousness. Let's talk about its practical application. This principle can guide us in harnessing positive thinking and mindfulness. If our thoughts shape our reality, then by consciously directing our thoughts, we can influence our reality. For instance, if you consistently think positively, you're more likely to attract positive experiences. Mindfulness, on the other hand, is about being fully present in the moment, consciously aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can better understand our mental patterns and make conscious choices about what we want to bring into our reality. This doesn't mean that just by thinking about something, it will magically appear. It's more about the energy that our thoughts carry. Negative thoughts can create a negative energy that can attract negativity into our lives. Conversely, positive thoughts can generate a positive energy that can attract positivity. You're not just a passive observer of reality. You're an active participant, shaping your world through your thought processes. It's like being both the painter and the canvas. By understanding this principle, one can realize the power of their mind in shaping their reality. This is the essence of the principle of mentalism, recognizing that the universe is a mental creation and we are the creators. The mind is indeed powerful, and with this understanding, we can tap into that power. We can shape our reality and, by extension, our life's experience. The second principle, the principle of correspondence, states, as above, so below, as below, so above. This age-old wisdom invites us to see the universe not as a series of disconnected parts, but as a coherent whole where everything is interconnected. The principle of correspondence is all about patterns and relationships. It tells us that the laws of the universe operate in the same way, no matter the scale. Just as a tiny atom is a miniature solar system, our solar system is a minuscule part of a larger universe. The same patterns are repeated on a small scale in the microcosm and on a large scale in the macrocosm. But how does this apply to our daily lives, you might ask? Well, it's simpler than you think. Consider your personal relationships. Have you ever noticed that the way you treat others often reflects the way you're treated? This is the principle of correspondence at work, mirroring your actions and attitudes in the world around you. Think about your body as well. The health of your body can often correspond to the health of your mind. If your mind is filled with negative thoughts, your body may become sick. Conversely, if you maintain a positive mental state, your physical health often improves. The above of your mind corresponds with the below of your body. It's not just about the physical world either. The principle of correspondence can also be applied to your spiritual journey. For instance, the peace you feel within can reflect the peace you experience in your external world. Your internal state corresponds with your external reality. By understanding this principle, we can start to see the connections that bind us all. We can recognize the patterns in our lives and use them to make sense of the world around us. We can see the reflection of our inner selves in the outer world and vice versa. Through this principle, one can discover the interconnectedness of all things. The third principle, the principle of vibration, asserts nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. In essence, this principle illuminates the constant motion in the universe, from the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy. The principle of vibration is not just about physical movement, but also the unseen vibrations of energy and frequency. Consider your emotions, your thoughts. They too vibrate, sending out ripples into the universe that can attract similar frequencies. It's like tuning a radio station. If you want to experience love, joy, or peace, you need to tune your internal vibration to these frequencies. This is where practices like meditation, affirmations, and mindfulness come into play. They help us fine-tune our internal vibrations to align with the experiences we desire. Understanding this principle allows us to realize that we are not merely passive inhabitants of the universe, but active participants constantly interacting with the energy around us. By grasping this principle, one can understand the dynamic nature of the universe and their place within it. The fourth principle, the principle of polarity, states everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. This principle is an echo of the ancient yin and yang concept from Chinese philosophy. It underlines the duality inherent in every aspect of existence. Imagine a scale with two opposing points. On one end, we have love, and on the other, hate. Between these two extremes, there are many degrees. The same scale can be applied to other pairs of opposites, such as hot and cold, light and dark, good and evil. It's important to note that these are not separate entities, rather different degrees of the same thing. This principle is a cornerstone of our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It shows us that opposites are simply different expressions of the same thing. It's like looking at a coin from different angles. One side is heads, the other tails, yet it's the same coin. In our daily lives, the principle of polarity plays a significant role. It helps us appreciate the balance and harmony in the universe and within ourselves. We experience happiness and sadness, success and failure, pleasure and pain. These experiences, though seemingly opposite, are part of the same spectrum of human existence. Understanding this principle allows us to navigate these polarities with wisdom. When we face challenges, we can remember that they are but one pole of existence. With this understanding, we can strive to find balance, to move from one end of the scale to the other, and experience the full spectrum of life. The principle of polarity also encourages us to cultivate a balanced perspective. It teaches us that extreme views are seldom accurate. By recognizing the inherent duality in all things, we can approach situations with a more open mind, embracing both the light and the dark, the good and the bad. By comprehending this principle, one can develop a more nuanced understanding of the world and its dualities. The fifth principle, the principle of rhythm, asserts everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall. In the grand symphony of the universe, this principle plays the role of the metronome, keeping time and maintaining the essential beat. It's a cosmic law that underscores the cyclical nature of all things. Think about the rise and fall of the sun, the waxing and waning of the moon, the ebb and flow of the tides, and even the pattern of our own breath. This is the principle of rhythm in action. But it's not just about the physical world. The principle of rhythm also applies to our mental and emotional states. You've probably noticed that moods can swing from joy to sorrow, from excitement to boredom. This isn't random, it's the rhythm of life playing out within us. So what does this mean for us? How do we use this understanding in our daily lives? The key lies in adaptability. Just as a skilled dancer moves with the rhythm of the music, we too can learn to flow with the rhythm of life. When we understand that everything has its own rhythm, its own cycle, we can better anticipate and adapt to the changes around us and within us. Think of it like sailing. A skilled sailor doesn't fight the waves, they ride them. They don't resist the wind, they harness it. They know that the sea is ever-changing, and they adapt their course accordingly. And so it is with us. When we embrace the principle of rhythm, we become more resilient. We learn to ride the waves of change rather than being overwhelmed by them. This doesn't mean we become passive observers of our own lives. Quite the contrary. It means we become active participants, attuned to the rhythm of our own existence and the world around us. We learn to dance with life rather than against it. By embracing this principle, one can learn to flow with the rhythm of life. The sixth principle, the principle of cause and effect, states, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. This principle is a profound statement about the nature of reality. It tells us that nothing happens by chance, that there's a reason behind everything. This might seem like a simple concept, but when you really think about it, it's a powerful idea that can shift the way we perceive our lives. Imagine a pond. When you throw a stone into it, ripples spread out across the surface. The stone is the cause and the ripples are the effect. The same applies to our lives. Every action we take, every decision we make, creates a ripple effect. These ripples can be small or large, positive or negative, but they always exist. Now let's delve a little deeper. This principle doesn't just apply to the physical world, it also applies to our thoughts and emotions. Our thoughts are causes that produce effects in our lives. If we harbor negative thoughts, they can manifest as negative circumstances or experiences. Conversely, positive thoughts can lead to positive outcomes. So, how does this principle help us in our daily lives? Well, it enlightens us about the consequences of our actions and decisions. It encourages us to think before we act, to consider the potential outcomes of our choices. It teaches us that we are not merely passive observers of our lives, but active participants. We are the creators of our own reality. We have the power to shape our lives through our actions, decisions, thoughts, and emotions. This understanding can lead to greater self-awareness and personal growth. Now, this doesn't mean we can predict or control everything that happens in our lives. There are always external factors at play, but it does mean that we have control over how we react to these events, and that our reactions can influence what happens next. By understanding this principle, one can become more conscious of their choices and their impacts. The seventh and final principle, the principle of gender, posits everything has its masculine and feminine principles. But what does this mean? In essence, it's about balance. The masculine principle represents the active, giving part of our nature, while the feminine symbolizes the receptive, accepting aspect. This doesn't necessarily refer to biological gender, but rather the qualities within each of us. Let's consider an example. When we engage in conversation, we employ both principles. We actively communicate our thoughts utilizing the masculine principle, and then we listen, embodying the feminine principle to understand and receive the thoughts of others. In our daily lives, recognizing and honoring both these principles can help us find balance. It encourages us to give and receive with equal grace, to assert and to yield, to speak and to listen. This interplay is essential for harmony in our relationships and within ourselves. By grasping this principle, one can appreciate the complementary nature of all things. We have journeyed through the 7 principles of the Kybalion, each offering a unique lens to perceive ourselves and the universe. The principle of mentalism reminds us that all is mind. We shape our reality with our thoughts. Correspondence, on the other hand, teaches that, as within, so without. Our external world mirrors our internal state. Vibration tells us that everything moves, everything vibrates at different frequencies. Nothing rests. Polarity shows us that opposites are just different degrees of the same thing. Rhythm, the universal heartbeat, maintains balance in our lives. Cause and effect state that every action has a reaction. We are not mere spectators, but active creators of our lives. Lastly, the principle of gender emphasizes the masculine and feminine energies within us all. Remember, the wisdom of the Kybalion is not just to be learned, but lived. As we apply these principles, we become more in tune with ourselves and the universe, the ultimate journey of self-discovery.